And they say like, no, but I tell them, listen to me. You are young and you're malleable. You can change form. Technically, all faculty members here are part-time workers. It's all of us, we are part-time workers. Like I'm here for 3 days, and 2 of those days I work half day.
What do you wish students remember most after your class or after a course that you taught?
Very good question. What I want my students to remember the most when they leave my room is whatever they're about to create is greater than them. So I teach my students to look at their creative projects as if they are greater than them, so that they can get the best out of them. If you don't see your project as if it's greater than you, you will always downplay it. And so I love my students when they have a perspective of what I'm doing will outlive me, what I'm doing will cause impact, what I'm doing will change lives. And so I commit. And so I tell them, commit 100 to that project as if it's the last project you're ever doing. If this is the only interview I'll ever do, it has to get my heart and soul. And so with that in mind, whatever project you decide to do, it has to get your heart and soul.
How do you support students who are struggling and you have like a personal story about that?
Very good question. ADMI is a very interesting school. And so when students struggle, they struggle because they were not expecting what they find. So that's the first reality check that happens with students who struggle. So someone comes here and says, I love film, and I want to do film. And they were not anticipating that a light has to be set in a certain way. They're not anticipating you have to set up certain cameras. They're not anticipating you have to do good gain staging on your mic. So they're not anticipating that you have to do so, especially when you knew something. Usually the people who struggle the most are people who come with some little bit of experience. So they've been doing some form of shooting and editing out there. And then they come here and then everything is skewed. Everything is, it's like it's twisted. And so them unlearning and then to learn again, that shakes them up. And those students tend struggling. And so the best way is, I usually tell them, you are young and you're malleable. And they say like, no, but I tell them, listen to me. You are young and you're malleable. You can change form. And when they don't believe, I usually give them an example. I tell them, hey, how old are you? And then they usually say, I'm 19 or I'm 20. And then I tell them, when you're 15, what is important to you now? Was it important to you when you're 15? Then they say, nope. And then I say, see, if you can change in that 5 years, then you can change even now. And you see just people slowly shifting their mindsets and they readjust. So usually it's a mental thing where they have to readjust their minds so that they can be able to reapproach the unit in a new perspective.
So I think to build on to that, what kind of student thrives in this school?
The best students are students who walk in here knowing nothing. The best student is someone who comes here and says, I want to do graphic design. The only thing he knew was how to draw on a piece of paper or maybe use Excel. What do we call these softwares? Software here, like just simple softwares out there. And so they never did it at the level at which they're about to be introduced to. And so people who come here knowing nothing about the craft they're entering, they have a very clean palette to work with. And so we set a very good foundation to that. And so it's very, you just see the transformation within the first like 3 or 6 months. You just see someone's completely transformed. And you see a whole new creative come out of them. Those are some of the best guys.
So what makes ADMI different from other schools?
What makes ADMI different from other schools is, I would say, is the faculty team. ADMI has a very interesting approach to the faculty team. They work with people who are in the industry. technically all faculty members here are part-time workers. All of us, we are part-time workers. Like I'm here for 3 days, and 2 of those days I work half day. And so we are all here as part-time workers. So for us, what makes ADMI stand out is someone is out there in the field and then is coming to translate to you how the field looks like as you prepare them to enter into your field. All my interns are my former students. 2 of my employees are my former students. And so I only work with ADMI alumni. I don't work with any other alumni intentionally because I know how they are set. And so what makes us different is the faculty. These are professionals in the industry applying it in an education capacity.
What is one tradition or event you think every student should experience?
Every student in ADMI should experience exposing their work. Every student in ADMI should experience feedback out of that exposure of their work, whether the feedback is positive or it's negative. Every student should experience that. It's good for you to create, and we don't create so that we put it in our bedrooms. We create so that it exists publicly. And so interpretation is based on the consumer, and the consumer interprets based on their past. And so with that in play, every creative, every ADMI student should put their work out there. Get the positive feedback, get the negative feedback, adjust from there. Every student should experience that.
How does ADMI facilitate that?
Very good question. How ADMI facilitates student exposure is we have an ADMI week that we have here. It's a cultural week. And every single day we expose certain aspects. Like certain days you'll see some photography people and we'll hang our artwork here in school. Graphic students, they will hang their artwork here in school. Film students will have a film week. They usually have an ADMI film week. So that whole week we're just showcasing film work to our own students and to people who fund us to come here and study. And so it's good for our work to be consumed publicly out there. So these are things that we do for sound engineering students. They do hold concerts, they do album launches, they do performances. It's very interesting to see just someone come here very timid in SEM 1 and by SEM 4 they're very, very confident. Yeah, I love that. With this kind of technology, instead of us recording, you know the way we have to record and then we have to adjust our volume. Once you have adjusted our volume, then we record. So there's technology now, you don't even need to adjust. Let me begin with the parents. What I would want the parents to know is, if your student comes here and puts in work, and you get to see the numbers of their work, I would want the parents to invest in that student. Now I'm gonna drop a disclaimer as I'm saying this. I'm gonna say,